Have you ever felt like your mind just won't stop racing? Maybe you're replaying an awkward conversation, stressing over tomorrow's tasks, or carrying the weight of 100 tiny worries. In moments like these, it can feel impossible to think clearly, let alone find peace. But what if I told you that you could hit the reset button on your mind in as little as 5 minutes? Not with expensive gadgets or complicated techniques, but with simple, science-backed strategies that anyone can do. The idea of resetting your mind in just 5 minutes might sound too good to be true. After all, we're used to believing that stress relief takes hours of meditation, long workouts, or a weekend getaway. But the brain doesn't always need grand gestures. In fact, it responds quickly to small, intentional actions that shift its focus away from stress and back toward balance. Think of it like restarting your computer when it freezes. You don't throw the computer away, you simply give it a quick reset, and suddenly everything runs more smoothly. The same principle applies to your mind. Why does this matter? Because in today's world, our minds rarely get a break. From the moment we wake up, notifications, responsibilities, and distractions pull us in every direction. The average person checks their phone dozens of times a day, often without realizing it. We jump between emails, social media, errands, and conversations, leaving very little space for mental recovery. This constant stimulation creates what psychologists call cognitive overload. Basically, your brain has too many tabs open at once. And when your mental desktop is cluttered, you start to feel anxious, foggy, and exhausted. Science shows that even a short pause can make a big difference. When you give your mind 5 minutes of deliberate rest, your body activates what's known as the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Heart rate slows, muscles release tension, and cortisol, the stress hormone, begins to drop. In this state, the brain is better able to organize thoughts, regulate emotions, and restore focus. You don't need hours of silence to get this benefit. Just a few mindful minutes can trigger the shift. Imagine you've had a hectic morning. You spilled coffee on your shirt, missed a deadline, and now you're late picking up the kids. Your mind feels scattered, your body tense. You park the car and sit for 5 minutes before going inside. Instead of scrolling your phone, you close your eyes and take slow, steady breaths. At first, your thoughts race. But with each breath, your chest loosens, your shoulders drop, and the noise in your head begins to quiet. By the time you open your eyes, you feel clearer, calmer, and better prepared for the next part of your day. Nothing about your external circumstances has changed, but your mind has reset. The beauty of this practice is its accessibility. Anyone, anywhere, can carve out 5 minutes to reset. You don't need special equipment or a meditation cushion. You don't have to be in perfect health or have prior experience. All you need is the willingness to pause. And that pause, small as it may seem, is a powerful declaration. I choose to give my mind a chance to breathe. This isn't just about stress management. Resetting your mind also sharpens your ability to focus, make decisions, and enjoy the present moment. Think about how many times you've tried to work on something important but kept getting distracted, only to feel frustrated. A 5-minute reset acts like mental housekeeping, sweeping away the clutter so your brain can operate more efficiently. It's not about escaping your responsibilities. It's about equipping yourself to handle them with clarity. It's also deeply humanizing. We often expect ourselves to run non-stop, like machines that never need rest. But the truth is, we are not built that way. Just like our bodies need water, food, and sleep, our minds need moments of reset to function at their best. Allowing yourself 5 minutes isn't selfish, it's maintenance. It's how you ensure you can show up fully for yourself and others. So, the next time you feel your mind spinning out of control, remember this: you don't have to wait for the weekend or for life to calm down to feel better. In just 5 minutes, you can reset your mind and shift your entire day. In the next part, we'll explore exactly how to do it. Practical, easy-to-follow steps you can start using right away to bring peace and focus back into your life. Now that we've opened the door to the idea that resetting your mind is possible in just 5 minutes, let's talk about the first and perhaps most universal technique: intentional breathing. It may sound too simple, almost too ordinary to matter, but breathing is one of the most powerful tools you carry with you at all times. Done with intention, it has the power to pull your body out of stress mode and guide your mind back into balance. When we are stressed, anxious, or mentally overloaded, our breathing changes without us realizing it. It becomes shallow, fast, and irregular, as if the body is bracing for danger. This type of breathing sends signals to the brain that reinforce the stress response, keeping cortisol levels high and the nervous system on edge. On the flip side, when you consciously slow and deepen your breathing, you flip a switch in your nervous system. Your body begins to shift into a calmer state, and with it, your mind follows. Think of breathing like the remote control for your brain. By pressing the right buttons, longer inhales, steady holds, slower exhales, you can change the channel from chaos to calm. And you don't need hours of practice. Just a few minutes can create noticeable relief. One of the simplest techniques is often called box breathing. You inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold your breath for 4, exhale gently through your mouth for another 4, and then hold again for 4 before repeating the cycle. As you continue the rhythm, your body starts to settle, and your thoughts begin to clear. It is named box breathing because each stage is equal in length, like the sides of a square. With each round, you'll notice your shoulders dropping, your jaw unclenching, and your heart rate slowing. To bring this to life, imagine you are in the middle of a hectic day at work. Emails are piling up, your phone keeps buzzing, and your brain feels like a traffic jam. Instead of pushing through in a fog, you decide to pause for 5 minutes. You silence your phone, close your eyes, and try box breathing. At first, your mind resists and keeps circling back to unfinished tasks. But as you continue, the rhythm takes over. Your chest loosens, your body softens, and the noise in your head begins to fade. By the time you open your eyes, the tasks are still there, but you feel clearer, calmer, and better prepared to face them. Breathing as a reset is beautifully portable. You can use it anywhere, while sitting in your car before an appointment, lying in bed when you cannot sleep, or even waiting in line at the grocery store. Nobody around you has to know what you are doing, and yet you are rewiring your body's stress response in real time. Unlike reaching for another cup of coffee or scrolling through your phone, this practice restores energy rather than drains it. Another popular method is sometimes called the 4-7-8 technique. You inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. That long exhale is especially calming because it mimics the natural rhythm of the body when it feels safe and ready to rest. Many people use it at night to quiet racing thoughts before sleep, while others use it during the day to reset after a stressful meeting or event. The truth is, you don't have to follow these numbers precisely. What matters most is finding a rhythm that feels both slow and steady, with exhalations slightly longer than inhalations. That is what tells your nervous system, we are safe now. And it is enough to begin the shift from stress to calm. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Many people hesitate because they think they are doing it wrong, but breathing resets are not about precision. They are about intention. Simply focusing on slowing down and lengthening your breath for a few minutes is more than enough. What you will notice is not only a calmer mind but also physical relief. Muscles relax, the heart feels less heavy, and even headaches or tightness in the body can begin to ease. That's because the mind and body are deeply connected. When you reset one, you reset the other. Skepticism is natural. It might seem unlikely that something so ordinary could be so powerful, but the science is clear, and the experience speaks for itself. Once you give yourself permission to pause and breathe, you will feel the reset happen almost instantly. This is why elite athletes, soldiers, and mindfulness practitioners all rely on breathwork. It is accessible, effective, and immediate. So the first step to resetting your mind in 5 minutes is as close as your next breath. It requires nothing but awareness and a willingness to pause. Once you try it, it becomes like a trusted tool in your pocket, something you can reach for any time life feels overwhelming. And when you experience how much clarity it brings, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. In the next section, we'll move beyond the breath and explore how resetting your body through simple movements can also release mental clutter and restore focus. Together, these practices form a practical toolkit for reclaiming calm in just minutes. When most people think about resetting their mind, they imagine quiet activities like meditation or sitting still with their eyes closed. While those are powerful, there's another reset method that works just as effectively in just 5 minutes: movement. Our bodies and minds are not separate machines. They are deeply connected, and the state of one directly influences the state of the other. When your body is tense, your mind becomes cluttered. When your body moves, your mind follows. Stress often makes the body freeze. Shoulders hunch, jaws tighten, and breaths become shallow. In this state, the brain is flooded with signals that reinforce tension. The good news is that even a few minutes of simple, intentional movement can break the cycle. Moving your body sends a message to your brain that it is safe to release the stress response. It is like opening a pressure valve, letting steam escape so the system can function smoothly again. One of the simplest forms of this is walking. Imagine stepping outside for a short walk, even just around your block or down the hallway. As your feet find a rhythm, your breathing begins to steady. The act of moving forward physically helps your thoughts move forward mentally. It does not require speed or distance, just the act of moving with awareness. Scientists have found that even a short walk boosts circulation, lowers cortisol levels, and increases the flow of oxygen to the brain, all of which sharpen focus and lift mood. Picture this. You've been at your desk for hours, staring at a screen, trying to power through, but the harder you push, the foggier you feel. Frustration builds until you can hardly concentrate. Instead of forcing yourself to sit there, you step outside. The fresh air touches your skin, your eyes adjust to the natural light, and your body falls into a gentle rhythm. Within minutes, your mind feels clearer, your shoulders loosen, and the problem you were struggling with doesn't seem so impossible anymore. That 5-minute walk has reset both body and mind. If you can't go outside, stretching is another powerful tool. Rolling your shoulders, bending forward, or reaching your arms up high releases built-up tension. Many people don't realize how much stress they store in their muscles until they pause to stretch. It is as if the body has been holding on to silent messages of worry, and by moving, you let them go. Pairing stretches with slow breathing multiplies the benefits, anchoring the reset both physically and mentally. Another effective option is what some call shake it out. Animals do this naturally. When a deer escapes danger, it literally shakes its body afterward to release the leftover tension. Humans can benefit from the same practice. Standing up and gently shaking your arms, legs, and shoulders for a few minutes looks a little silly, but it resets your nervous system in remarkable ways. You are signaling to the body that the stress has passed, and it is safe to return to calm. The key here is not the type of movement but the act of moving itself. Some people like yoga poses, others prefer dancing to a favorite song, and others keep it as simple as pacing around the kitchen. In every case, movement changes your internal chemistry. It increases endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals, and creates a feedback loop of calm and clarity. The beauty of this method is that it works quickly and requires no special equipment. You do not need a gym membership or an exercise routine. You only need a few minutes and the willingness to move. For someone overwhelmed at work, it might be stretching in a chair. For someone at home, it might be turning on music and dancing in the living room. The form doesn't matter. What matters is that movement reminds your brain it is not stuck. Resetting your mind through movement is also empowering. Often, stress makes people feel trapped, as though they are at the mercy of their thoughts. By choosing to move, even in the smallest way, you take back control. You are showing yourself that you can shift your state, that you are not powerless. This reminder alone can bring immense relief and renewed confidence. As with breathing, consistency deepens the effect. The more often you give yourself a 5-minute movement break, the quicker your body learns to respond. Soon, your muscles and mind will recognize the signal. When you start moving, it is time to reset. So, while sitting quietly and focusing on your breath is one powerful reset, moving your body is another. Together, they form a balance. Stillness calms the mind, and movement frees it. In the final part of this journey, we will go even deeper into the heart of what it means to reset your mind. We will explore how finding connection and meaning, even in small doses, can refresh not just your thoughts but your entire outlook on life. This is where the practice becomes more than just a stress trick. It becomes a way to feel truly alive again. We've explored how intentional breathing can calm the nervous system and how movement can release built-up tension. Both are powerful tools for resetting the mind in just 5 minutes. But there is one more reset strategy that goes even deeper. It not only quiets the noise in your head but also lifts your spirit and renews your sense of purpose. This is the reset of connection and meaning. Stress and worry often make us feel isolated, as if we are carrying the weight of our struggles alone. That feeling of being cut off feeds forgetfulness and mental fog, because the brain works best when it feels safe and supported. The antidote is surprisingly simple: a few minutes of genuine connection, whether with another person, with yourself, or with something meaningful that grounds you. Connection doesn't always mean a long conversation or a deep heart-to-heart. Sometimes it can be as quick as sending a thoughtful message to a friend, smiling at a stranger, or calling someone you care about. Those small moments of connection trigger the release of oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, which lowers stress and boosts feelings of trust and well-being. In other words, reaching out to someone can reset your mind in minutes. Imagine you're in the middle of a stressful day, weighed down by tasks and worries. You stop for 5 minutes and text a friend a simple message: "Thinking of you, hope your day is going well." Within moments, you get a reply, "Thanks, I needed that." Your mind feels lighter, your heart warmer. That tiny act of connection doesn't erase your problems, but it softens the edges and helps your brain shift from stress to calm. Connection can also be inward. Taking 5 minutes to write in a journal, list 3 things you're grateful for, or whisper a short prayer can shift your focus away from anxiety and toward meaning. Gratitude and reflection remind the brain of what is stable, good, and worth holding on to. Research shows that gratitude practices literally rewire the brain over time to notice the positive more easily, reducing the grip of stress. Meaning can also come from engaging briefly with something you love. For some, it's strumming a guitar for a few minutes. For others, it's tending to a plant, reading a page from a favorite book, or simply stepping outside and watching the sky. These aren't distractions. They're reminders of what makes life rich. When you reconnect to meaning, even for 5 minutes, your mind resets because it remembers the bigger picture beyond the immediate stress. Consider the story of Helen, a retired teacher who often felt overwhelmed by worries about her health and finances. She discovered that simply taking 5 minutes each morning to write a gratitude list shifted her whole day. At first, she struggled to find things to write, but soon she was noting small joys: the sound of birds outside her window, the kindness of a neighbor, the taste of her morning tea. Those lists didn't change her external circumstances, but they changed her perspective. She found herself calmer, more focused, and less weighed down by worry. The beauty of connection and meaning as a reset is that it not only calms you in the moment but also strengthens resilience over time. Breathing and movement reset the body and mind immediately. Connection and meaning reset the heart and spirit, reminding you of why you keep going. Together, these 3 approaches create a complete reset toolkit that works in minutes and empowers you to face life with clarity and confidence. It's important to remember that these resets are not about escaping your responsibilities or ignoring challenges. They are about giving yourself the space to respond instead of react, to think clearly instead of drowning in clutter, and to approach life from a place of strength rather than exhaustion. So, the next time your mind feels overloaded, remember this: you don't have to wait for hours of meditation, a vacation, or a perfect moment of silence. You have the power to reset in just 5 minutes. Take a breath, move your body, or reach for connection. These simple acts are small, but their impact is profound. As you carry these tools with you, notice how they change not only your stress levels but also your outlook on life. When you learn to reset your mind, you remind yourself that clarity is always within reach, peace is always possible, and you are never powerless. In just 5 minutes, you can reclaim your calm, refresh your focus, and rediscover the strength that has always been inside you. And perhaps the most inspiring truth of all is this: every reset, no matter how small, is a reminder that you can begin again. No matter how stressed, scattered, or tired you feel, 5 minutes is all it takes to open the door to a clearer, calmer, and more hopeful you.